I'm not trying to be a technological snob with my iPad. My problem is that rather than writing out my notes yesterday, I decided to type them on my iPad. But when I went to print them, my printer wouldn't talk to my iPad or vice versa. So this is it. Come on, okay. I just hope the battery doesn't die, that's all. Well, maybe you want it to die, I don't know. A number of times in my priesthood, I have had the honor, and I mean that word very specifically, I've had the honor of keeping vigil with a family while they were either in a hospital room or hospice at home with their mother or father, usually, waiting for death to come. One time in particular, I remember being with these grown adult children. Their mother was in the hospital bed and waiting as she inched closer to death. At one point, the mother looked at her kids, and I'll never forget, she said, "Now I know that I've been the glue that held us all together. But now that I'll no longer be here, I want you to promise me that all of you will do whatever it takes to keep this family united. I want you to love and to accept each other as you are. And I want you to forgive each other when you offend each other. I want you to be loving." Later that evening, this lady lost consciousness and she died. I was struck at that time by the importance that she placed on her final words. Whether or not her grown children actually did what she asked them to do, I don't know. But I do know that she made it very clear what she expected of them and what she desired for them. Today, towards the end of the gospel, we heard Jesus' final words before he entered into his passion and his death. And I was struck by how, how important they were to him. He says to his apostles, "I will only be with you a little while longer. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you should love one another." With his final words, Jesus expressed so clearly what he wanted from his disciples, his followers, what he expected from them. Now, in Greek, the language in which the gospel was written, there are at least 4 different words. There may be more, but there's 4 that I'm aware of. 4 different words that refer to different kinds of love. One word, Greek word, is used, sporge, which refers to a love that a parent has for a child. Eros, another Greek word for love, refers to the passionate sexual love of 2 people. Philia, another Greek word for love, refers to a brotherly or fraternal relationship. That's where the city of Philadelphia gets its name, Philia, except they don't always live up to that name. And finally, there is agape, the total self-giving of myself to others. That is the word that Jesus used. He didn't use skarpe, eros. He didn't use philia. When he told his disciples to love one another, he used the word agape. And it means that we give ourselves completely. We have unconditional love for the other. Unfortunately, in English, we have only one word for love, and it covers a multitude of things. For instance, in English, we will say, I love chocolate. I love the weather down here. Well, next fall. I just read this book and I loved it. Or I watched a movie, maybe Father Stu or some other movie, and I said, wow, I really love that movie. We might say, I love my pets, my cats, even though they're destroying the house. I love my spouse. But you see, the problem there is we use the same word, whether it's chocolate or a cat, or my spouse, or my God. It's all the same word. And it presents a problem because sometimes people say they fell in love or they fell out of love. Well, none of that is what Jesus is talking about when he says, love one another as I have loved you. Jesus is challenging us to a total giving of self, this agapeic love, total giving of self towards others. This faithful, constant commitment to others' good, to want good for the other person, even though there are people that because of personality or whatever we don't want to be around, we don't like, whatever, but we're still challenged to love them in the sense that we want the best for them. We want God's blessings for them. We want them to be everything God wants them to be. To love as Jesus loved is our goal. It's the aim that we have up there, that which we pursue. It's a pursuit which should guide everything in our lives. Every time we come to make a decision about something, that should be the underlying determination. How do I, in this instance, love the way Jesus loved? How do I care for the other person? And believing it's not being snarky and anything else. And it's also very difficult. This isn't easy, this kind of love, and I'm not frankly sure that we'll ever achieve it here on earth. But it's something that we dare not forget because that's the goal. That's where we're moving toward. And if we want to judge our progress in the spiritual life, it's how close we're getting to the love of Christ. It's difficult, I know. And it's most difficult when you're around somebody that you don't really care for or somebody that's not exactly giving the love back. I understand that. I'm not naive. But that doesn't matter, that doesn't mean, rather, that we quit trying. When it comes to loving as Jesus did, when it comes to the challenge he gives us to love as he loved, I think you and I have a lot of work to do.